I make $100,000 a year and I'm barely scraping by, living paycheck to paycheck, and I feel broke. I hear this over and over, both in my professional life and in my personal life. The reality is, it's not how much you make, it's how it's managed. You can't out-earn your bad money habits. You need to take control, and a budget will help you do just that. So stick around as we talk about some practical budgeting tips and how you can make the most out of your money. Hey guys, my name is Peter and I've been in the financial industry for over 11 years, and I'm passionate about showing others the tips and tricks I've learned along the way. Stick with me as we dig in. Most people I know didn't grow up being taught how to handle money, how to save money, or how to even organize money. So today we're gonna talk budgeting. Most of us have goals or things that we want to accomplish, whether that's getting your first car, buying a house, or wanting to retire comfortably one day. But in order for those dreams to become a reality, you need a plan. For the most part, you get to decide what your future looks like, and you definitely get to decide where your money goes. So think of a budget as a roadmap to shift your dream into a reality. So let's dive in. A budget is a guardrail to help keep you from driving off the cliff. It's a spending plan. It's telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. It's telling yourself what you want to do with your money. It's looking in the mirror and saying, from now on, I am going to take control. I'm going to make the most out of my hard-earned money. It's giving yourself permission to spend. To me, a budget is liberating. It's not restrictive, but it definitely depends on how you think or have thought of what a budget is in the past. It's way more rewarding because you get to sit back and know that your bills are going to get paid and that your goals are going to get met at the same time, all while still getting to eat out and enjoy every moment of life. According to surveys, only a third of all households live by a strict budget, so it's not as common as you'd think. What's interesting is that most people know that a budget is important, but why don't we do it? Why don't we stick to it? You need to start with your reason. You need to start with your why. What are you hoping to accomplish by living on a budget, also known as a spending plan? What goals are you trying to reach? Regardless of what your dreams look like, budgeting will make you much more effective at getting you there. There are different types of budgets and different ways you could do one. There's a simple budget, the envelope system, there's a 50-30-20 budgeting system, and there's also several others, but my favorite is a zero-based budget. The concept is that you give every single dollar a home. You give every single dollar a purpose. I basically do the envelope system, but I do it electronically. I don't like cash. It's dirty. If you get change, it jingles in your pocket. It's heavy. On top of that, it can be unsafe if you carry too much of it. In general, I prefer to do an electronic form of the envelope system. So it might seem crazy, but I have lots of different sub-accounts to help separate my money and keep myself organized. I have 27 sub-accounts to be exact. So if that's something that might be interesting to you, contact your local bank or credit union or message me directly and I'll get you some recommendations. It's free and it works great for me. This is part one of a two-part series. So next week, I'm gonna be showing you exactly how I budget my money step by step and how it's worked so well for me. So make sure and stay tuned for that. Let's go over some practical steps for budgeting. Number one, you wanna list out all your income. What's interesting is that some people don't even know how much they make. So you wanna make sure you list out all of your sources. Make sure and only count your net income, not gross. Gross is before taxes, which is why it's called gross, because it's the amount that we never see. Also, if it fluctuates, you want to be conservative and round down. Number two, you want to list all of your expenses. You want to start with the big ones and of course the required ones first, like your rent or your mortgage. Also any debts that you have acquired, credit cards, car loan, student loans, etc. Also car insurance, utilities, fuel costs, your phone bill, and anything else you have. Here's what's important, is to list out every single expense that you know you have upcoming or would like to plan for, like groceries, health insurance, investments, savings, giving fund, HOA, dining out, shopping, entertainment, gym membership. The idea is you want to give purpose to every single dollar. So at the end of your budget, you should literally have $0 left over. Hence, a zero-based budget. Once every dollar is allocated and there's nothing left over, it might feel like you're broke, but that's the secret, is you have predetermined and given purpose ahead of time to every single dollar. You get to still go out to eat and know that your bills are getting paid and all of your goals are being met. That is the beauty and that is the secret.
Nice.
Also, make sure and list out any of the irregular ones. For example, life insurance or car registration, or maybe planning for Christmas or planning for a trip that is upcoming. You wanna make sure and budget that. Sometimes you can think, I don't actually remember what all my bills are. So no problem. What I would say is to go through at least the last 30 days or maybe even the last few months worth of your expenditures. And from there, you'll be able to see, so look at your checking account, maybe credit card history as well. And from there, you'll be reminded of anything you might have left out. Sometimes bills only come quarterly. So if you don't go through the last 3 to 4 months of your history, then you'll forget that one. You definitely don't want to be surprised. From there, you can decrease what you need to decrease and adjust accordingly. Number 3, you want to allocate every dollar. Like I mentioned before, you want to give it a home. You want to give it a purpose ahead of time. Oftentimes we have a general idea of what is going where, but it's time to get specific. That's what's going to make your budget successful. Dave Ramsey says you can wander into debt, but you can't wander out. You need a plan, a spending plan. You work too hard for your money to disappear every paycheck. So instead of wondering where it went, you have to make a plan and tell exactly where to go. Number 4, you want to review your budget every paycheck or even weekly, but at least monthly. If this is new to you, just keep in mind you'll probably go over budget or overspend or fail completely because you're coming up against years or even decades of spending and lifestyle habits. So at first it will be difficult. So give yourself some grace and give yourself some extra patience along the way. You might also consider a weekly weigh-in. Just like when you're trying to diet or lose 20 pounds, you gotta check in and see what your progress looks like. If applicable, get together with your spouse, go over what went well, what do we need to rearrange, what do we need to decrease or maybe increase. One thing that people often get wrong or don't budget enough for is groceries. So definitely plan to bump that up, probably definitely bump down a little bit on some of that eating out, but you can readjust as you go from week to week, and just trust me, you'll get better at it as time goes by. You can also figure out what other expenses have we forgotten about. As my friend Sean Cannell says, what gets measured gets improved. Lastly, remember to reach out to a trusted friend or a financial coach if you need any help. Remember, you don't have to go at this alone. I'm so glad that you've joined us today. If you got any value out of it, go ahead and hit the like button. Also, make sure and hit the subscribe button for more content like this. Now, I'm looking forward to seeing you next week.